Hey, it's Wednesday night, March 23rd, 2022. You're listening to another brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co host, Paul Zartman. And Paul, this episode of Dynamite has increased my appetite, and I want a Twinkie.
I've had my fill of Twinkies for now.
Yes, I have heard over the weekend, the FWF show, you might have got a Twinkie to the face.
Might have. Just one, but hey, you know what? It was worth it to see the smile on the little girl's face who did it. But yeah, got a Twinkie to the face. It's okay.
But you did cut a good promo.
Thank you. I put a lot of work into that promo.
And where can the viewers and listeners of the Kicking Out Podcast go listen and see this promo at?
Yeah, if you haven't caught it yet, it's on the Kicking Out Podcast Facebook page. So get on Facebook, search Kicking Out Podcast or at Kicking Out Pod, which is our social media handle for all of our social media accounts. And you will be able to find a couple different angles of said promo, and you can watch me getting Twinkied as well.
Getting Twinkied. And FWF, that's a mouthful. They have a YouTube channel too, correct?
Yes, they do. Get on YouTube, search up Functified Wrestling Federation, and you can watch some past shows on there as well. You can see me beat up people. You can see me get beat up, depending on your liking there.
Perfect.
But yeah, go check out Functified Wrestling Federation. Got another show coming up this Saturday at the CCAC in Warsaw, Indiana.
Never stops.
Keeps
on rolling.
Yes, it does.
What a fun way we kicked off Dynamite tonight.
Absolutely.
CM Punk versus Dax Harwood. Who loves Bret Hart more? It was pretty much the battle for Bret Hart's fandom.
So yes, it was.
But Tony Khan announced this match earlier today on Twitter. I saw it, and I'm like, man, this is going to be fun. Because as much as I like FTR as a tag team, I do think they're one of the best tag teams in the world. Both Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood can go as single competitors when they want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind if anything happens to FTR or one of them is out on injury, you can have the other one in the ring every week, and they're going to deliver a good show.
They're both so talented, and
absolutely.
And I liked how when Dax came out, Cash wished him good luck, went to the back.
Yes, that was fantastic. That was classic pro wrestling at its finest, right there.
Yep. Show kicks off, of course, with CM Punk's music, Cult of Personality hitting. Place went nuts like it always does. It was nice to see Punk back on TV after a little break after Revolution.
You know, it was interesting because I knew he was going to be back tonight. But yesterday I had seen some stuff where there were articles. Now, these are not, your Fightful Selector, Wrestling Inc. or anything like that. But there were wrestling fan articles up about what happened to CM Punk. Where'd CM Punk go? It's like, really? The man took a week off. Calm down.
Yeah, took a week off or 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off.
2 weeks off.
And I like that. And that's something we didn't really talk about 2 weeks ago on the first Dynamite after Revolution. I liked how MJF and CM Punk weren't on that episode because they shouldn't be. They went through a war that previous Sunday night. So I like that. That's real. That's realistic. I like that.
Mm-hmm. So. Absolutely. I keep telling you, Tony Khan does the best stories in pro wrestling right now.
Yep. And this match delivered. It was back and forth through most of the match. Of course, the Gun Club, or the Ass Boys, Colton and Austin Gunn, were sitting. Billy's Boys were sitting by the ringside there. Towards the end of the match, we saw Punk kick Dash's head, kicked out, and Dash's head slammed off the bottom turnbuckle. That was a pretty nasty looking spot there.
Especially with all the head injuries he's had.
Exactly. That led to a couple back and forth pinfall attempts. Punk then hit a running knee to the corner, but Dax blocked it with a classic running bulldog by hanging on to him. nailing a slingshot powerbomb, which was awesome. That was a great looking move. He got a near fall at 2. Dax then reversed a GTS attempt, and he locked in the sharpshooter, paying homage to Bret Hart, which this is the 25th anniversary of the classic Bret Hart Stone Cold Steve Austin WrestleMania 13 match, which Bret got Stone Cold in the sharpshooter, and Stone Cold, which had a bloody crimson mask going, passed out. So
Yes.
I was wondering how many different matches and throwbacks they were going to pay homage to, but that was definitely one of them tonight. Punk rolled over and then transitioned back into an Anaconda device, which he had locked one on Hardwood earlier in the match, but he got this one in a little deeper, and Dax was forced to tap out.
Not very often you see either member of FTR tap out, so
Yep.
that's one that you can chalk up to Punk there.
Yep, and then Punk after the match was celebrating with the crowd and doing the belt motion to his waist.
What belt is he referencing?
Oh, he's going for the big boy.
You think so? You think he's
Yep.
going to skip TNT and go straight for Hangman?
I do. I think that's our match at Double or Nothing. I don't know exactly how we get there. I think we'll see Adam Cole challenge for it before then, especially after tonight's angle. Maybe at a Clash of Champions or not Clash of Champions, excuse me, Battle for the Belts. I forgot that's what they're calling it, Battle for the Belts, or something earlier than Double or Nothing. Because, yeah, I think Punk Hangman feud would be pretty good. I don't really know how we get there, but that's why we tune in every week.
Exactly. Of course, I'm okay with that. And I would be, this is going to sound really off the wall, especially coming from a guy like me. I would be okay with Punk winning over Hangman. And here's why. Because we would start getting closer and closer to somebody's return. And I just want to see one good match between CM Punk and Kenny Omega for gold.
Oh, sure.
I don't even care who wins that match. I just want to see it.
Yeah. And I still, and if Punk took it off Hangman, even if he was the heel in that match, I guess then he could eventually turn back face. You could have maybe MJF take it off him eventually or something. But while we're speaking of Hangman, I was going to ask you this later on in the episode when we talked about his segment he was involved in. But since we're talking about him, I'll ask you now. What do you think so far overall about Hangman's title run?
Honestly, it's a little disappointing.
I kind of agree.
I thought we'd see something more. And maybe it's because we got spoiled under Kenny, who came out pretty much every week and
100%.
had a match, or every other week and had a match. And then you've got Hangman, who just pops up on TV, cuts a quick promo, and leaves.
Yeah, I think his matches have been good under his ring, but everything else is just kind of blah.
There hasn't been enough matches.
Yeah, they just he's never featured in the main segment of the show. It's really odd to me. I don't know. It's a lot different than the previous 3 world champion reigns we've seen.
Yeah, and I think, of course, all 3 have been really good, and Hangman's has been good. He's put on great matches when he has them. But I think we've really got spoiled with Kenny because Kenny's such a workhorse that he wanted to be on TV with that belt as much as possible, putting it in people's faces.
Workhorse with shoulder injury, the hernia, vertigo, list goes on, which is just incredible. That's why I want him to take as long as he needs to get fully healthy. Because if he gave us all that with all those injuries, just thinking what he might be able to do 100%.
I
can't wrap my mind around it.
His whole title reign, he was injured, so
right,
one way or the other. So it'd be interesting to see.
Then we see a backstage segment with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho's talking about the picture he has been shared of John Silver with him when John Silver was younger. Daniel Garcia then says they beat up professional wrestlers. They will show them that they can't hang. Jericho says they will future endeavor them. I got to pop out of that one. They all joke about how Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz are gone now. And Hager says they're not coming back.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll be back, and they'll be back as LAX.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's doing some New Japan stuff right now. So that's why he hasn't been around. But yeah, they'll be back. They'll be back. And an interesting name to keep an eye on, I don't know if he'll pop up in AEW, is Hernandez. is not re-signing with Impact Wrestling. He's a free agent now. So
Yeah.
just name to keep an eye on there.
Yep.
Next match. This was a fun match. These tornado tags always are entertaining. They always over deliver. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardys, Sting and Darby Allin versus Private Party, Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and the Butcher and the Blade of the AFO.
Much easier to say.
Yes, much.
No offense, Matt.
I had a double guess. I had to think about that. I'm like, that is right? AFO. Yes.
Yeah, it's not the HOF or no AOF. Yeah, no, it's not the HOF anymore. It's not the AHOF.
Yeah,
it's AOF. That rolls off the tongue.
AOF. Yep. This match opens like a lot of Darby Allin matches do, with Darby diving out and hitting his opponents as soon as they arrive. Then we see Sting. Sting turning into a high flyer, Paul, in his old age. He did have a birthday earlier this week. He only turned 63, so he thought he might as well go up top, and he launched himself from the top corner into them as well. After that, it was just chaos. Brawls happen all over the arena. Jeff Hardy and the Blade fight upstairs. Sting's hitting a big splash down at ringside, a Stinger splash. Inside of the ring, we have Matt Hardy using his delete attack in the corner. Darby was dominating the Butcher, but Andrade appeared and wiped him out with a belt. That allowed Butcher to launch Darby down the stairs. Back in the ring, Matt hit the side effect on Isaiah Cassidy. Then Mark Quinn appears from behind and rocked him with a trash can to the head. Jeff brawls with Butcher and the Blade out to the concourse while Private Party hit a double suplex on the ramp to Matt. The fight to the entrance tunnel, but Matt managed to take control, dropping Quinn on the ramp. He looks to send Cassidy off the ramp, but his partner saves him by hitting Matt with a low blow. Private Party then work together, and they both launch Matt off the ramp with all three of them going through a table. I was just glad to see a Matt Hardy spot through the table go safely.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And
Isaiah Cassidy spot, because that was a nasty Spanish fly spot with Sammy Guevara at Revolution.
Yeah, but I might have clinched up a little bit when Matt was getting ready to go through there, because I'm like, no, not again.
Sure.
Oh, okay, good.
Sure. Then back at the concourse, Darby and Sting have Butcher and the Blade set on tables. This might have been the spot of the night, at least for me. Jeff Hardy climbs up on a ladder onto the balcony above, and he does a huge swanton bomb through the table, crashing on both guys. Jeff freaking Hardy.
What would you expect anything less from Jeff Hardy?
I don't know how the guy walks to this day with how many swantons he's hit over the years from high heights. Man.
Yeah.
We didn't see Private Party set Matt Hardy into the ring, but he's able to kick out. Sting then appeared and starts brawling, but Isaiah Cassidy hits him with the chair. However, that fired Sting up, didn't affect him at all, and he starts dominating, hitting. Stinger splashes into the corner. He ends up missing, and Isaiah follows with a kick. They look for gin and juice, but Sting counters. I think it was supposed to be all one fluid motion to hit him with the Scorpion Death Drop, but he could not grasp him. He kept trying to fall down. I'm literally saying out loud, just let him go, let him fall on the mat, pick him back up and do it, because finally he got a hold of him. He hits the Scorpion Death Drop. Matt Hardy hits Twist of Fate, and that's it for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was once Sting finally got him set up.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. We hit two finishers at the same time, and then we had a double pin.
Yeah, it was a cool spot. I mean, it would have been great if it could have happened in one smooth motion, but
right.
It happens. I just wish Sting, because he dropped him about 3 different times. It's like just lay him down, pick him back up, and do it. I mean, he kind of botched it, and he was trying to save it, but fun match. Like I said when we were starting to talk about this match, these tornado tags are always fun, and in AEW they always over deliver. Just a lot of action, chaos, and good times.
Yep.
We then see FTR backstage as Cash Wheeler's putting over Dax Harwood. But then he says the ass boys think because of their father they have respect, and that's not it. Dax then says he can't stand a spoiled brat, and if they think they can just walk in, steal their spot from his profession, that's a problem. Harwood says they are the best team in the business, and he refuses to call them the ass boys. He will call them Billy's sons. He will see them next week on Dynamite.
Yeah. I'm all for this. Danhausen can continue to call them the ass boys. I think FTR needs to call them Billy's Sons.
Yep. And did you notice how Cash mentioned that Dax has a lot of heart?
Yes.
Think there's anything
Yes.
to that? Am I looking too much into this?
I don't, but
Because
the
I got
promo
called
where
out
they
by a lot of. I don't know if you noticed that on Twitter last week. Right from
yes.
our account, I tweeted, "Could Bret Hart be coming to AEW?" And I got a lot of backlash on that tweet.
Yeah. There were some, well, he's already been there, and then there were
Oh,
a lot
great!
of
We need
other
another
stuff.
old fossil.
Yeah. Okay,
Are you
look,
telling me
I
you don't
mean,
want to see Bret Hart in AEW for any kind of role if he's interested? And I do.
right. Is Tully going to continue to come out with Sean Spears? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What's Arn doing now? He's going to come out with his kid whenever his kid wrestles. I mean, Jake the Snake, is he going to be with Archer on Friday?
Yeah. We haven't
I
seen Jake in a
mean,
while.
we're kind of, we had those fossils, but they're kind of fading out.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of don't have anybody to go with anymore.
Right.
So they're transitioning to what their real job is, which is stuff backstage and training guys.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think Bret would want to come in for a role every week or anything, but
No.
maybe a big one-off or maybe an appearance once a month or once every other month or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Bret Hart is interested in coming into your company in any capacity, don't say no.
Exactly. And with the start of the Owen Hart Cup coming up here
Yes.
very shortly, it would make perfect sense to have Bret come in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's every week throughout the cup, and then
Yep.
after that once a month, or for big shows or big segments, and that be that. But yeah, when Bret Hart knocks on your door and says, "Hey, I want to be a part of your company," you go, where do I sign?
Right. And I can't wait for the Owen Hart Cup. I'm interested to see the participants and get the matches going.
Yes, I hope we see Wardlow in this. I'm just saying.
That would
Just
be
saying.
cool, but I think he's going to be involved in another match at that pay-per-view. So, but he could still be in it though. He could be in the tournament, and somebody
And
could cost him a match.
Yeah, I was going to say somebody could cost him a match
Yep.
right before the pay-per-view to really solidify that story for the pay-per-view.
We then see Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley against the Varsity Blondes. The first time we've seen the Blondes in a while. I always want to call them the Pillmans. Instead of, I just want to call them the Pillmans because Griff looks like a Pillman, even though he's not.
I'm still trying not to call them Hollywood Blondes. So
yeah. Yep, Varsity Blondes.
Yeah.
So William Regal comes on commentary, which he's always good on commentary. And this match pretty much goes how you would think, with Moxley and Danielson pretty much dominating. I mean, the Varsity Blondes did get a little offense in, but I loved how this match ended, and that was with Moxley just elbowing Griff to death and Danielson stomping Pillman's head in, and then they both got submissions. Both made him tap out. I thought that was great. Very intense physical match. Interesting part of the match to me was Julia Hart just sitting outside ringside, not paying attention, head down, truly broken.
I still think she's gonna end up in the House of Black.
You need to do something with it.
Yes. Well, they made reference to it several times tonight.
They did.
And they even accidentally said, since she got the mist in the face from the House of, Malachi Black.
Mm-hmm.
So, they keep referencing that this happened.
Right.
There's something. It's just it's getting to be too drawn out, because we've seen
it's losing
Neville,
its steam.
we've seen,
it's losing its steam. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever he's calling himself these days, Penta. They've all recovered from the mist.
Yeah.
But Julia has not. So
right.
Do something with this. It's one of those, do your stuff or get off the pot situation.
Yep. We then see Moxley grab the microphone. He says he's been fortunate to compete against and learn from the best, but there's only one man whose opinion he ever cared about. That was Lord Regal's. He then says the seal of approval from him is a badge of honor, but he earned it through pain, blood, and dislocated joints. He wears the Blackpool Badge of Honor, just like the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Moxley says they were forged in combat. If anyone wants to get in the ring with them, they best step up or get stepped on. John then says if anyone thinks they can ride with the three most sadistic individuals, they are not giving out free passes. Talent need to reach down deep and find the place they love or where they love paying. He says if people want a badge of honor from the Blackpool Combat Club, they have to earn it the hard way. So I guess we have a new name for this team.
I'm okay with this name.
Yeah.
It describes where they came from, what they do. They're not calling themselves a team, a trio, a group. They're a club.
Is it? And I know AEW signed so much talent lately; they don't really need to sign talent every week or anything. But we're having new debuts. But when they were standing there, and he was saying, does anybody think they can stand here with the three most sadistic? I was hoping Samoa Joe was going to appear.
See, I wasn't sure if we were going to get Joe appearing or, who we were going to get, but I honestly was waiting for Wheeler Yuta to just show up and walk out there and go, look, I got in your face last week. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I actually thought Regal might slap one of the blondes tonight, but I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah,
I don't want that to become a thing every week.
Right.
Don't wear that out. Just pick your spots to do it. So.
Yep.
It'll still be interesting who ultimately joins this faction.
I think we'll see Yuta join it first.
Yeah, I think you're right. We then see MJF comes out, and he says he meant what he said about Wardlow being able to keep the TNT title. So it's a shame he didn't beat Scorpio Sky last week. MJF tells CM Punk he had him beat at Revolution, which is why he had to cheat to win. He doesn't know where or when, but he will give Punk his most embarrassing loss of his career. He says it won't be over until he attends Punk's funeral and pisses on his grave. MJF was pretty fired up tonight with some lines, that's for sure.
Ooh, yeah, there were a few lines that came out of his mouth that I was like, wow, can you say that?
There was definitely one that I could see Warner being like, okay, no more of that.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that in a little bit. MJF tells the fans they like Wardlow because they're inbred, keeps ripping on Texas. He then claims he will call Wardlow pig now because that's what he is, a greedy little pig. MJF says it wasn't for him, nobody would know who Wardlow was. MJF says he repays him by costing him his biggest match and then asking for him to release him from his contract. MJF tells him he signed a deal with the devil and they are ironclad. MJF says he's going to make Piggy's life a living hell. He claims if he wants to kick Wardlow's mother out of her house, Wardlow will say nothing. And the line, my notes don't have it here, but the line we were referring to was the crowd's chanting Jesus at MJF, and he says he will put Wardlow on a cross just like Jesus, or something along those lines. I might not get that word for word right, but I was like, that was the one I was like, whoa, can he say that on cable?
That one, and when he dropped the GD, I was like, "Ooh, we are pushing the boundaries tonight, boys."
This made Wardlow come down to the ring. Crowd was popping. He's wiping out MJF security, but then all of AEW's security. I thought that was interesting. Their actual security got on camera and got involved. Had to get a hold of him. MJF then tells Wardlow he doesn't work for AEW. He works for MJF, and he doesn't want him here anymore. He's trespassing, so he'd be paying him just to stay home till the people forget he ever exists. MJF then shoots down some rumors. He says the Pinnacle is not over, and they have never been better, stating next week they're moving up. As Sean Spears says, when you're in the Pinnacle, you're always on top.
Yeah. Kind of answered our question. We've been wondering for a few weeks what they're doing with, probably closer to a few months now, what they're doing with Pinnacle, because it's just kind of faded into the background.
I still think we're getting a slow FTR face turn.
Oh, I think so too. I even texted you that tonight, the way they were talking there at the very beginning. I was like, turning FTR face.
So I wonder if the Pinnacle stays together, if they get some new members or a new look.
I don't know. I don't know at all, but I'm here for it. I know that much.
We both know Wardlow's not staying home too long.
No. I was honestly waiting for Tony Schiavone to stand up. I just got a message from Tony Khan, and that message is that Wardlow is now all elite.
So the double or nothing match, I'm thinking is Wardlow MJF. If Wardlow wins, MJF releases him from his contract.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be great. It would be perfect storytelling, and it would get over with the fans.
My question for you, I guess, is can they hold that off until double or nothing, or do we see a match before double or nothing between the two? Say MJF wins like he normally does in his feuds, and then Wardlow gets payback at the pay-per-view.
I think something will start ahead of the pay-per-view. They'll have a match or two, and
Well, he needs to go through Spears at some point.
Right. He'll go through Spears. He'll go through each member of FTR or both of them at the same time. You know, maybe it's a thing where he says, "Oh, if you can find yourself a tag partner, you can take on FTR," and then we get Wardlow and Punk teaming up against FTR.
Well, and MJF likes to give his opponents obstacles before he faces a member of Cody and then Jericho. The feud.
Yep. So I definitely think we'll see it happen.
We then see backstage Trent and Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. Trent says he never liked Wheeler Yuta, but he let him in because the rest did. Yuta says he loves those guys, but he doesn't like Trent either. He's not trying to be the best friend he can be. He's trying to be the best pro wrestler he can be. And Trent either needs to get that or he doesn't. I like this.
Yeah. And in all black for Wheeler Yuta. No best friend shirt on for the first time since he came out. So I'm definitely digging this. And I think, like I said, I still think he's going to join Mox, Danielson, and Regal.
Mm-hmm. I agree. We then got a match that was advertised, I think yesterday. If not yesterday, it was earlier. It was definitely earlier today. That's Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal. Fun to have Jay Lethal back on Dynamite in a big match. These two have had quite the history, dating back several years. How about that pop Adam Cole got coming out tonight?
I was, man. I mean, make him face, and he's going to run the company.
Yeah. I don't think they need to make a face, though. I mean, he's going to get pops no matter what.
He reminds me of Austin. When Austin was a heel, when Austin took on Vince McMahon, of course, that was just everybody beating up their boss, enjoyed that. But his overness reminds me of that.
Yeah.
He can do no wrong.
Well, everybody loves the theme music he comes out to. Everybody loves the boom and the Adam Cole Bebe. I mean, it all works.
Yeah, and here in thinking back to, he did an interview, I think it was on the Unrestricted podcast, where they asked him about that right after he joined AEW, and he goes, I just did it one time as a little joke, as a stab to one of the other guys, and it got over.
Yep.
It was one of those things he had never expected it to get over.
He was trying to be a heel in the company he was in, and he was trying to be annoying. It just got over. Yep.
The crowd loved it, and now here we are all these years later, and no matter what, they yell Adam Cole, baby.
Yep. And Lethal got a nice pop too, and really the crowd was pretty divided through the match of let's go Lethal, let's go Cole. Adam Cole, Jay Lethal, chants like that. Fun match, a lot of action going on. Of course, we saw Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of Red Dragon come down and help Adam Cole in this match. I mean, what else would we expect? No Young Bucks tonight, though, on Dynamite.
Nope.
Towards the end, we see Adam Cole grab the ring skirt, which distracts the officials, allowing Bobby Fish to distract Lethal. He then eats a super kick, but Jay reverses the boom attempt with a cutter. However, Cole then reverses the Lethal injection with a midair super kick that got a big pop from the crowd. Then he hits the Panama Sunrise, but Lethal kicked out. Lethal's then able to go for the Lethal injection again, but Red Dragon distracts the official. Cole hits a low blow, then hits the boom for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
The Lethal injection is a cool move to watch, but I've never understood why you need to do all that just to do a back elbow. It's one of those I have to shut my mind off from what's going on real to pro wrestling.
I
Where it
mean,
never works.
why did Dusty have to spin
Right.
his fist so many times to hit the bionic
Well,
elbow?
in the people's elbow for The Rock. I mean, yeah. So we could go. Yeah, we could go on and on, but that's just part of pro wrestling. What makes it entertaining.
Yes.
We then see Adam Cole get on the mic. He says nobody on the planet deserves the AEW World Title more than him. He says Hangman stole his victory, and in 2 out of the last 3 matches they've had, he has won. Last week he saw fear in Adam Page's eyes when he pinned Jungle Boy. And Cole says the champion caught lightning in the bottle revolution, but he's got to shove it up his ass. Cole says Hangman's a coward who doesn't have the guts to come out. And of course, Hangman's music hits and he comes out. He starts attacking all 3 of them with a belt, but Cole hits yet another low blow, and the trio's beating him down until finally Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus and Christian Cage all run down to chase off Red Dragon and Adam Cole. However, Adam Cole left with the world title.
Mm-hmm. Been a while since we had somebody steal the title and actually walk out with it.
Right. I was thinking
Normally
the
they
same thing.
drop it back down and walk out, but
And I do have to
actually
say, it looked good over Adam Cole's shoulder.
that it did. I was like, man, you never know. You want somebody to be champion so much until they put a belt over
Right.
their shoulder, and then it's like, oh, that looks
Were
good.
you surprised it was Jurassic Express and Christian coming down for the save instead of the Dark Order?
No,
Nope.
no. I knew it wouldn't be Dark Order. I mean, at one point when they were beating him up, my mind went join the Dark Order. Yeah, but I was like, no, it's not going to be them. It'll be Jurassic Express because they want revenge
Yeah.
from last week.
Yeah. And I think Red Dragon's the next challengers for the tag titles. It makes a lot of sense. So.
Oh, absolutely. 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, I should say. That's going to be a great match.
Yep. We then see Sammy Guevara and Ty Conte in the ring. He says they can't change what happened with the TNT title, but he hasn't lost his love for the ring. And he will always do things that make people stand up and chant, holy shit. Sammy then says if he's going to pay for it, it will be worth it, as what the fans give to him is everything he wanted until now. Ty says now they want payback. She says Paige Van Zant will get her ass kicked, just like she did in her entire MMA career. This leads to Lambert appearing. He claims that Paige had appearances in won't appear in places like Texas. You can subscribe to our OnlyFans and see why Orange Cassidy always has his hands in his pants. That popped me. That was pretty good.
It did, but it goes back to that top guy or
He's getting the cheap heat.
Yeah, the man, I can't even think of Dan Lambert's team's name.
America Top Team.
America Top Team versus Inner Circle.
Yeah.
Jericho made reference to that, and she said she would never do it, and then less than a month later she did it. Now it's we got to bring it up.
Right. Bet she gets some more subscriptions tonight from the AEW crowd, though.
Oh, probably.
He then claims they have Tiny Tim and Lucha Walrus. Lambert says they can kiss the match goodbye. Dan kisses the belt, and he says, and then Sammy says, if he knew what they did while wearing that belt, then he would know that they live in his mouth. Crowd loved that, and go check Tay's Twitter. That's all I'm gonna say. And you can see a picture of her and Sammy and what they might have done with that belt.
Yeah, and
they don't give any Fs. They don't care.
In case you don't want to go look, if you've ever seen the infamous Shawn Michaels Playgirl photo, very similar.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
That's only been recreated a dozen times.
Exactly. We then got the lone woman's match of the night, Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Pretty good match here. In the end, Layla Hirsch gets the win by cheating. She grabbed 2 turnbuckle posts. The official took one away. However, she had another one in her gear, and she attacks Red Velvet with it to get the win. But I like seeing both these ladies get TV time.
Oh, absolutely. It was great to see.
I mean, they both continue to get better and better. After the match, Layla continued the attack, but led to Chris Statlander making the save.
Yeah. Again, all black.
Yep.
I like the blue streak in the hair, though. That was cool.
Yep. We then see Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling talking about her potential 30th match. and Tony Schiavone's wondering who's the opponent's going to be. But all Jade wanted to talk about was their post-match celebrations, which she started listing things off, and Mark's writing down what she wants. So,
Mhm.
any guesses who her opponent could be for her 30th match?
No.
It's got to
I
be somebody outside the
I don't
company, right?
have. It's gotta be. I mean, she's gone through everybody in the roster, and at this point, it would make no sense to bring somebody else in that's in the company now to take her on. We need, even if it's a one-off, just bring us
Right.
somebody, big name, little name. I don't care. Sign somebody, local talent, indie, get a pop and have her beat them.
Well, and I keep saying they're not going to hand Jade her first loss for a while, but when she's talking about post-match celebrations and everything, it makes me think maybe she's going to get beat.
I kind of feel that too, but I want to see her get right by Sheeta's 50 wins and
Yeah.
then lose.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think now's the time to pull the trigger on having her first loss, but it made me question it tonight, and that's good storytelling.
Absolutely.
I'm just
Absolutely.
intrigued who they might bring in, or if they bring somebody in, because I can't think of anybody on the roster besides Britt that would be, or Thunder, that would be a good challenger.
Nyla,
Yeah, it looks like she's gonna have a program coming up here.
Paige Van
So,
Zant, but she's in a program now.
right.
Because I was all for Paige Van Zant versus Jade Cargill, but then they immediately throw her in this other program.
Yep. Yep. So,
I don't know enough free agents right now on
no,
the female side to
me neither.
really. I mean, Chelsea Green, she's not necessarily a free agent,
No,
but
but that'd be interesting if they could get her over to AEW to do some stuff. So she's been doing some good stuff in NWA and Impact.
yep,
And she was Reign of Honor talent for a little bit.
exactly. Supercard April 1st.
Yeah, Tony's stacking that card up.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone then welcomes Thunder Rosa to the stage before she says a word, though, and she comes out to a big pop, by the way. Vicky Guerrero appears screaming, "Excuse me."
Excuse me.
I wasn't even going to try to do it.
That's as close as I get.
She gives Thunder some credit as she does show up for training, but she tells Thunder to take her fake green card and backstroke back to Mexico. Nyla Rose then appears from behind and texts Rosa, laying her out. I did not like this segment at all. I had a lot of problems with it. I don't like that being Thunder Rosa's first segment as new champion. Don't like it at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was good heat back and forth on the microphone. If it would have stayed on the microphone, just Vicky and Thunder
You
Rosa.
knew Nyla was going to show up.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if could have eliminated Nyla attacking her or showing up at all, and just those two going back and forth for another minute or two, it would have been a fine segment.
And Nyla's a great worker, very talented, but she gets more title shots than anybody in the company.
And yeah, we kind of talked about that in text messages too.
But it's like every new champion's first feud seems to be Nyla Rose.
Well, that too.
So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm like, they got enough talent. Let's get other people some shots. But
we'll get there.
we then get the main event. Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia versus the Dark Order's John Silver and Alex Reynolds. This match went about 15 or so minutes. Towards the end of the match, we see, let's see here, we see Silver continue to attack. He had a hot tag. He continues to attack, but he got rocked by a code breaker. But the Dark Order star, Silver, kicks out. Daniel Garcia comes in, but they send Jericho out of the ring. Alex Reynolds makes a blind tag, and they hit some really incredible double team moves, only for Daniel Garcia to end up kicking out. The group then all gets on the ring apron, which leads to Silver attacking them until he gets a spine buster from Hager. And I know we rip on Jake Hager a lot, but the guy looks like he's in fantastic shape right now.
Yeah, so which tells me he's got another match coming up.
Yes, a match or fight.
I should say a fight.
Reynolds then tries to charge, but Garcia distracts the official. That allows Jericho to hit Reynolds with Floyd, the baseball bat. Garcia then sits in a scorpion death lock to get the win. We then see the whole Jericho Appreciation Society celebrate the win together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good match, but it was main event worthy.
No. I would put Dax Harwood and Punk in the main event.
But that was such a fun way to start the show. But
Yes.
I thought Lethal and Cole would be the main event.
That would have been a great main event. Yeah. Crowd would have popped, would have had a great way to end the show. It would have been fantastic.
Well, and it would that whole segment would have, even afterwards with Cole calling out Hangman coming out, and even him getting beat up, and then Jurassic Express and making the save, and then Cole walking off the air with the title. That would have been the perfect way to close it.
But, yeah, and you would have gotten 3 out of your 6 champions in the main event spot. So I don't know.
Overall rating tonight.
Oh man, 6.5.
I'm going 7.5.
Okay,
I enjoyed it, but there's definitely a little step back from the last 2 weeks for me. There was a little sloppiness here and there. A few segments, like Thunder Rosa's segment, I didn't care for at all.
Vicky getting cut off, that was probably the best part of that segment. There was just too much for me to give it a higher rating tonight. I wanted to, but the longer the show went on, I mean, you had your good stuff, great matches. I would have changed up the order a little bit. But yeah, I'm stuck on that 6.5 tonight.
I would call it kind of a filler show. I saw that floating around on Twitter, but it was a very good filler show. But I would call it kind of a filler show tonight, coming off a big event. Next week's one of the biggest weeks in wrestling. We only know 2 Dynamite matches next week. Darby Allin versus Andrade, and the Ass Boys versus FTR. We know a lot for Rampage.
I think we know the whole card for Rampage at this point.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Swerve versus Ricky Starks for the FTW title.
That'll be fun.
Sadly, I think Starks is winning that match because I don't think Team Taz is going to come off the FTW title.
Right.
But if he manages to pull it off, there's how you get the FTW title involved more.
Yep.
Make it a Rampage title, defend it on Rampage.
Maybe we'll finally get an ending to the QT Marshall Hook story.
That should have been over a week after it started. But that's just the week it started, as a matter of fact. But that's just me.
Dustin Rhodes and Lance Archer, good to see both those guys back.
Yes.
They had a fun match way back in the pandemic era.
Mm-hmm. I was starting to get concerned that we weren't going to see Dustin with everything going on with his brother and sister-in-law. But
I don't care. I'm sure he cares.
Well,
he's doing his own thing.
But I mean, that shows you there that there truly isn't any hard feelings between anybody. Because if that would have happened somewhere else, which we're not going to get into all that rumor and storyline tonight, Dustin would have been off TV for the next 6 to 8 months. Yeah,
or maybe it's just nothing that involves Dustin, and it's just between Cody and Tony.
Well, I know, but even if it was just between Cody and the other guy, Dustin still would have been punished. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, we have. I don't know. I don't know. I've the more I talk about Cody Rhodes, the more and maybe this is the last thing I'll say about Cody Rhodes for a while, but if he's doing it to better his family, great.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the money was similar to what AEW was offering, and just going back on all the statements he said, this is where I'm getting my career. I can't go back. The other guys can. He went back on everything he ever said. So I don't know. I don't know.
I pulled out my Cody shirt and I went, yeah, nope, it's going back in the drawer.
No, I mean, I got 3 or 4 right now, of them, and I just nope. He can go have fun with Seth Rollins on Mania. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, it's not a knock at WWE.
No,
It's not a knock at Cody. We're not mad that Cody
no.
left
I mean,
AEW. We're mad that he went back on everything he ever said.
yeah, it's more of how he did it, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's hard to
I
explain,
don't know. Yeah.
but it's got nothing to do with the fact that it's Vince or anything like that.
No,
It's
I could care
Cody.
less. I mean, he won't be the last AW talent to go to
No,
WWE, I'm sure. I mean,
no.
if they treat him right, he might be the first of many, eventually.
Um, Speaking of contracts,
Yes.
I'm sure you already know this, but I saw it tonight and was kind of excited that All Ego Ethan Page has signed a multi-year contract with
Yep.
AEW.
That pumped me up. He's
It
now an
did me
American.
too.
He's moved over across the border from Canada to Michigan, and yeah, he's a great talent. I like what they're doing with him and Scorpio Sky, and glad he's going to be under contract for many years to come.
I still miss SCU, but Page and Scorpio Sky work well together. They feed off of each other, and I'm glad that that's who he got teamed with.
Right. Who is your wrestler of the night tonight? Kind of a tough one.
It is. It is. You know what? I'm gonna throw you a massive curveball here. Matt Hardy.
Yeah, it was a curveball. Why Matt over Jeff?
Because Jeff's gonna deliver that style of match every time he's in the ring. Matt doesn't have as much of that go left. And that's, again, it's not a knock against Matt. I don't think Matt's been right since he went through a table wrong. So to see him get a good victory, to see him go through a table and not get hurt, this all made me feel really happy.
Jeff Swanton was my biggest takeaway from that match. Besides that, and besides Sting kind of botching that match, or that not the match, the Scorpion Death Drop, I thought Sting still came away as the star of the match yet again. I don't know how he does it.
Because it's Sting.
He's amazing.
Or should I say, it's Sting.
Yeah. My wrestler of the night, or should I say my sports entertainer of the night, is Daniel Garcia.
Yes, I will give Daniel Garcia a lot of props.
Got the
He
win.
did great tonight.
He made Reynolds tap out with the Scorpion Death Block, and I like seeing him in the main event. I think as AEW fans, we better get used to that for many years to come.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the kid's like, what, 21, 22?
He's young 20s, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, we probably got another 20 years of seeing
Let's see.
him.
I'm curious how I'm going to go look exactly how old he is.
Well, while you look that up, I will tell everybody, be sure to check out in the description of all of our profiles and the bio. There we go. Bio. That's the word I was looking for. The new Kicking Out podcast store. Get you some great merchandise, a little bit of everything from coffee mugs to tank tops to t-shirts to hoodies. And of course, don't forget, we still got our store, very select few exclusive items over on the Pro Wrestling Tees store as well. So 2 great places to buy some great Kicking Out podcast merchandise. So go do it now.
I believe he's 23. He will be 24 in September.
Okay, so they gave you an age and you had to just do math there. I saw you writing something or something.
Well, they gave me the date, and I was a little thrown off. I thought I had it right, and then I had to figure out September. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, like you said, you plugged the store. Remember, promo code Madness, good for free shipping on orders through April 10th.
And that is on the Kicking Out podcast store, not the Pro Wrestling Tees store.
Yeah.
Just so we're
they will
aware
not
there.
let us do our own promo codes. They'll do 20% off about every month or every other month or so. But
if you want those promo codes, watch AEW. It's the same one.
Yep. The exact same one.
So, yeah. And with that, Tanner, your final thoughts for tonight's episode?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to spend my Wednesday night doing anything else, at least for 2 hours of it, than watching Dynamite and then talking with everybody for an hour or so afterwards. But a little bit of filler episode tonight, but that's okay. You have those once in a while. Every show can be 9 out of 10 or so. But still
N-
had some good advancements of storylines, and definitely have a few that I'm scratching my head wondering where they're going to go.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, not every show can be a 6-star show, or even a 5-star show for that matter.
Will
So
you be watching the Ring of Honor show next Friday?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, I will.
it's got me intrigued with the latest matches that have been announced. So, and I'm still just really intrigued what he's going to do with ROH. I know he said he's going to get a weekly show going and everything, but I want to know when, where, who's going to be
Yes.
on it. I want to know all that
What
stuff.
night are we
Yeah.
going to have to move our podcast? Um, so I do have one question for you
Okay.
because we're finally getting it. So I want to know your pick: Briscoes, FTR.
FTR's taking those titles.
Of course, it doesn't help that there's really been no agreement with Tony and the Briscoes yet. So
Well, no, I think Tony making this match should, and it sounded like it was a lot of hard work from what Fightful Select has reported. It was a lot of hard work when everybody thought it was a shoe in. But Tony making it happen, I think that Tony's fine with everything. I think it's Time Warner is upset with a comment one of the Briscoes made 10 years ago, and I don't think they want them. If all reports are correct, Time Warner doesn't want them in AEW. So
well, I mean, that's kind of how cancel culture works. You said
it
something
does.
15 years ago, and now we don't like you
It does. So,
because
you know,
somebody brought it up.
maybe they'll still be able to get under the Ring of Honor umbrella, which would be nice on
Yeah,
TV, but we'll have to see. That's why I'm saying I think FTW wins the titles just so that way Tony can definitely use those titles.
FTR.
Yeah, FTR, not FTW, FTR. Jeez, it's late. But also speaking of them, I know they're the AAA tag title champions right now, and I understand the heritage and the prestige around those titles. Don't get me wrong; those are the worst looking tag belts I've ever seen. They look plastic. They look like
I
toys.
Yeah, when they came out there with the FTR sticker on there, I
Yeah,
was like, why are they carrying toys? And then it dawned on me, oh no, those are just the
those
AAA
are not
belts.
not good looking tag
Wow.
belts. Yeah.
I thought maybe it was just because of the gear that the Lucha Bros wore, but they always seem to look really shiny then. And tonight they just look dull.
No, they look like they're plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, but speaking of belts, be on the lookout for a new
Maybe.
KOP predictions title here in the future.
Oh, darn, you broke the news. I was going to say stay tuned for something big to happen on
Well,
the
I'll break
KOP
the news.
social media.
I'm not giving away any spoilers of what it looks like. They'll have to tune in to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to say, your greatest KOP predictions champion has something in store when this arrives. So,
I don't have anything in store.
oh, shots fired. Shots. I've defended it more times than you have.
It's been a
You
while.
win the belt, and you're like, nah, pay-per-view. I'm like, let's do it at the next big show. Let's do it tomorrow night.
I wasn't too enthused to go after the plastic looking title. Now that we got a title, I want to taste. I want to taste of the title, Paul. I want to taste.
That's all I got to say.
Double or nothing. I'm coming for the title and then a Twinkie right there.
I think you got to get
T
through.
squared, Twinkie and title.
I think you got to get through Austin though too. So see, that's where this gets better because
We're
this is
talking
a
about
triple
Austin
threat
Shepard.
match.
We're not talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin here. We're talking about Austin Shepard.
Well, I mean, hey,
we're talking about the rookie. We Austin hasn't even appeared on our podcast. If he wants to, if he really wants to get involved with this, it's time for him to appear on the podcast because I want a taste of the title and a taste of a Twinkie.
I don't want another taste of a Twinkie. I was picking that out of my beard all day Sunday. I mean, she got me good. Go back and watch that video if you haven't watched it yet. I'm like, did I get it all? It's been almost a week and I'm still like, where is it?
You've been off the rails here at the end of the show. It's good stuff.
But
so
that's what this is all
what
about.
we do. That's what we do.
That's why I'm the greatest KOP champion in history because I'm willing to put the rookie in a triple threat match, you would have been like, maybe Austin, maybe. And I'm like, let's do triple threat. Let's go. Let's do this.
Well, you hang on that thought and feeling till May, because I'm finally gonna up my game from mid card to main eventer, and I'm gonna take that title.
Ooh.
That's all I gotta say. I'm out.
Remember, I had a perfect card. Haha.
That you did.
So with that, be sure to follow Kicking Out Podcast on all social media platforms at Kicking Out Pod. Go follow Tanner Lee at Tanner Lee 92. Follow Paul Zartman. That's me, your favorite KOP champion, at Paul Zartman 921. And be on the lookout at Kicking Out Podcast, because when that belt comes in, oh, buddy, I got something in store for it. So be sure to watch Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Watch it all. It'll be everywhere when this happens. So be sure to give us a listen wherever you listen to your podcast. And if that happens to be Apple Podcast, be sure to give us a 5-star rating, because it definitely helps us move up the rankings. And KOP will be in the top 10 before you know it. And with that, for Tanner Lee, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.